how could I, he seems like a smart enough guy, but I just gave a whole I over exaggerated the sign languages and pull over with me, and he shoots by. Come here for a sec. Am I using Chinese sign language that you can't understand? I'm like, slow down, pull over with me, and then you gun it by me. I'm like, what?
I thought you like pass me.
Oh. No, actually, I was asking if you're ready for another hand job. You built up from the last time? No, I was just gonna say, experiment with putting your feet down on the corners. Have you your bike will corner a lot better if you push down with your feet, as if you're trying to break the floorboard. Literally, like you're trying to break a piece off your floorboard. Fiddle with it. Take the next corner and be aware of how your bike handles. Don't push down. And then for the next corner after that, push down with your feet as if you're trying to break the floor. And you'll notice that your bike will be much, much lighter. Scooter, I should say. It works on motorcycles. It works on motorcycles as well, but on scooters, it's a world of difference. Because scooters are so light to begin with that any shift in the center of gravity is highly noticeable. And what you do on a scooter is like I said to him, you push down with your feet as if you're trying to push your feet through the floorboard. You're trying to break the floorboard when you lean. So I come up to a lean like this, and I push down with my feet as if I'm trying to break. Oh, this one was a bit too steep. But if you push down even if you just push down with your feet and then you just do some S's, like you do some S's, don't push down with your feet, and push down with your feet and then do some S's, it's a world of difference. If you ride a scooter, test it out. And when I say something is a world of difference, it really is. Like some riders say, if you do this, you can feel a difference. If you do that, you can feel, and I do it, and I don't feel any difference because I'm not really sensitive to small changes in riding feel like some people are. Some people they they adjust their tire pressure by like 1.5 pounds or whatever, and then they ride the bike. They're like, oh yeah, that's a much more comfortable feel. And I'm like, my tire could be flat, I wouldn't notice. But pushing down with your feet it does make a big change. So yeah, where was I talking about? Oh, so new topic here. Racism. Like if you're Canadian or American and maybe British, I think British are pretty racist in comparison to Canadians and Americans. The least racist country on the planet, as far as I can tell from my somewhat educated opinion, in the sense that I've traveled a lot, is Canada. Like in Canada, because Canada you have every race and culture lives in Canada. You got black people, Asians, people from all over the world living. And in Canada, Canadians really don't care. Like they meet you and your skin's a different color. They don't ask, oh, are you Chinese or are you Pakistani or are you... They don't ask. They don't care. They really okay, his skin's different. Like you don't even notice. It's just amazing how unracist Canadians are. Because anywhere else, like here, like try being a white person in Asia, you get asked 1,000,000 times a day where you're from because people want to know why. Oh, your skin's a different color. Where are you from? But nobody in Canada asks those questions. I remember I grew up with a kid. One of my best friends when I was younger, his skin was a different color, and I grew up with him, and I never once asked what country his family was from. And then I recently asked him because he's Asian of some sort. So I asked him, I'm like, well, where are you guys from? And he's like, oh, we're Tibetan. And I'm like, I knew the guy for years. I never knew that. He was one of my best friends. It's just because like I said, in Canada, like in your classroom, half the class is colored. So you're just used to it, and it's not something that ever comes up. And then in America, you get a lot of racism against black people, but the reason is because in America, a lot of poor areas or a lot of poverty-stricken parts of the cities are predominantly black. So you get a lot of black poor people and then they end up doing a lot of stealing or mugging or whatever. So you get a lot of racism against them. But in Canada, you go to the poor part of town, there's no blacks there. It's just, I've never, like, the black people that I knew growing up, there wasn't an economic difference between them and the Caucasians. They lived in the same houses, they worked the same jobs. There was no difference. So in Canada, this is like there's almost no discrimination against blacks whatsoever because they're not doing the majority of the crimes or the muggings or whatever. And then here you have it again. You have a car who just decides to stop on a corner even though he's got a bunch of people right on his ass. It's funny, we passed this group a while back, and then we pulled over to the side for a long time. We pulled off to the side of the road for a good 10 minutes, and then we started to ride again, and we caught up with them again. So we're doing a good clip, evidently. Good speed.